Okay, this is welcoming everyone to the program Shagalinku TV. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, and I'll be your anchor from now to the end of the show. It's good to be back here with you all again for the Saturday's edition of the program, and I hope that you're all set for us to roll. Today, we'll be looking at the state of the nation, the current events that have been taking on and going on for a while, that's been leaving a whole lot of people so sad, depressed, and feeling so sorry for the country. So much has been happening, and it seems like from one drama to another drama, just when we were talking about the brouhaha between Abike Dabiri and her Nigerian in Diaspora Commission, when they had a face-off with the Minister for Communication over the apartment or the office space given to her in the ministry. We're just trying to come off that. The Oshomole saga and the Governor Baseki zone started, which led to a whole lot of controversy, paper, certificates, whatever, and then crisscrossing, decamping from one party to another, and so much drama there. We're trying to relieve that and resting for a while, and then we went on again with being woken up with the Magu things, the saga, and then it was a whole lot, a whole lot of play. That was still trending, and not quite long, the NDDC thing. In fact, that for me is the mother of it all, from Dr. Joy to Akpabio, and then to the fainting acting MD, and then Ogangige killed it all with the trending Mushi boys and the VI boys, So we're asking this afternoon, or wherever you're watching us from, be it in the morning in your side, we're asking, are you happy? Are you satisfied with the events, with the trends going on about our dear country, Nigeria? What is the problem, and how can we even solve it? These are the questions we'll be asking you. You can join us, drop your comments on the comment section, and we'll be reading them. I have a guest here who will come up and join me, and he will introduce himself by himself, and then we will go on to talk about our discussion. Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, Emmanuel Gabari. How are you today?
I'm fine. Welcome to Shagalinku.
Thank you very much. This is my home. It's not my first time, and I'm happy to join you today to discuss national issues.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. So I would like you to, for our first timers who will be watching, I would like you to tell us your name, what you do, and then we'll go on to talk about our discussion, sir.
All right. My name is Abdulrahman Abdu. I'm a development consultant who have been working for development projects in various levels, and working with the citizens engagement group, an expert in terms of assessment, more importantly in terms of defining good governance and interrelationship between citizens and government and system. And I have experience of at least 17 to 20 years for now, working with the citizens group, civil society organizations, people's representatives, and as well working with the grassroots structure to improve leadership, good governance, and as well to improve citizen engagement in the processes of leadership. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. So let's even start first things first. I know a whole lot has been happening, like I said when I opened up the program, but what is our role as citizens? Before we even go on for you to x-ray some of the things that have happened, what is our role as citizens at this time to demand for accountability and good governance? Are we failing as citizens? To you, what do you think?
Sincerely, it's very, very sad. The situation is very sad and is too becoming unbecoming. More importantly, looking at the state of nation, as citizens of this country, we cannot just hold our arms and be watching things going on the way it should be going. And as you rightly asked in the question, the role of citizens is always paramount. That we, the citizens, we track the government, we give the government direction. We, at the same time, the people there, they were there because we voted for them. This is democratic dispensation. So in our side, as a citizen of the country, we need to be much, much more serious and have much skills in terms of engaging the people in governance. And at the same time, looking at the content, it shows like the citizens are dragging back, the citizens are making it funny. And this is not funny in any way. It's something serious, it's something that demands most of the people to resign from the government. Is something that when the citizens are getting it more seriously, the people in government, they don't need even to be asked. They will just have to match out and as well resign from the position, and then even some of names will have to be blacklisted from the leadership again. So as our role as citizens, we need to be more proactive, one, and then secondly, we need to be at the top of all the information going on as an evidence base. We need to improve our processes of engagement with our representatives. We have a three-layer of representations where we have executive, we have state parliament, and as well we have national parliament. So those people, they are there for us. They represent us. They took all the leadership advantages using our own boat, and they are there. They are there to protect the nation and to improve the quality of people, improve the quality of life in this country. But at the same time, looking at where we are not as much doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I believe with the kind of advocacy instrument and material like yours, I think we can improve, and then we can air our voice across the world, across the whole globe, and at the same time to have a like-minded coalition within the country, so that to put all sentiment aside, to look into our country, because we don't have any other place to go, no any other place to live if not our country. And we are entitled to live in anywhere in this country. So we need to be becoming more cohesive in terms of decision. We need to becoming more putting more closer relationship with our representatives, and as well to show our readiness to participate, and to show our readiness that yes, you will still come back, and then when you come back, we will take the next line of measure, which we will protect you to go. Executive, they need to know that they are not there because they are executive. They are there because of the people, and then they cannot just hold their arms watching things happen like a game place or like a video game. No, we cannot continue in this phase. And then a country like Nigeria, a big place, a place where we have been endowed, a place where there are a lot of learned people, a place where we have a strong human resources among our young people, learned people, professors among others. The things cannot continue in the same phase. So I think we need to put more pressure, in fact, in more systematic way, in more organized way, put more coalition, in fact, proliferate our wing. We using a lot of advocacy tools that can give us more opportunity to express who we are, and then to again form linkages. We need to have linkages within ourselves, so that what is going on within the NDDC is not different with what is going on within the other part of the country, be it northeast or northwest. And then we cannot just watch something happening in Niger Delta thinking that this is north, south, northwest. No, Nigeria is a single entity. Anything affecting Lagos is affecting Maiduguri. Anything affecting Sokoto State is affecting Calabar. So we need to be more united, especially the young people of this country, to be much, much more proactive. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm beginning to, okay, some messages dropped here when the flyers were posted on the Shagalinku TV Facebook page. So I will read a few, and then we'll come back to you to even x-ray some of these dramas that happen. My worry, Mr. Abdul, is sometimes when these things happen, I ask myself, do these politicians know that the world is watching? I mean, it's a shame to see some of the things they do on national TV. I mean, with the world going global, you expect that there will be some decorum, there'll be some ways people should comport themselves in their in the public sphere, because they should know that the whole world is watching. And then you just see so much happening. Sometimes it looks so unreal, and you begin to wonder if these people go back to watch these things, or don't they have friends outside this country that will call them later and say, why are you people doing all this? Anyway, I will read some messages here that came when the flyers were out. And then for those who have messages or comments to give, they can drop it right now in the comment section, and we'll be reading them, and my guest will be throwing more light on that. Fumilayo here says, this country no balance, so everybody just they do waiting in like. And then I got another one from David KK Egbele from Port Harcourt, and it says, it's quite sad that Nigeria is still at this political phase after so many years of experiment. Of a truth, no right-thinking Nigerian will be happy with the recent happenings. It goes to show how irresponsible some of our leaders could be and are not ready to be accountable with their leadership. And then I got another message here from Linda Uche in Kano. It says, this set of politicians came to cripple Nigeria. And then Chinasa also says, this topic is so on point. Okay, Mr. Abdul, I like us to even look at the NDDC. Now, there's been so many counter allegations. Dr. Joy saying her own part of the story. When Akpabio came, he also talked about his own. In fact, Akpabio shook a lot of tables when somehow he later came and said he made mistake. But then, like they say, when words go out, it has gone out and it's hard to retrieve. He said about 60% of the people in National Assembly are also the contractors in NDDC. And then when the chairman accosted him on that, he now said some members of the House of Assembly. And later on, they asked him to bring the names of those people, and then so much is happening. But let's even come to the Niger Delta people themselves. Like you said, any problem that affects Lagos affects all. So Nigerians should begin to know that this is not about the zone that you belong. Why are we not seeing a sense of uproar from the Niger Delta people themselves? Because even before this probe happened, we expected that the people who this whole money is supposed to have been for their development should have taken the lead in asking, in questioning for good governance. Men, women, we're not asking for riots or revolting, or there should be a peaceful way of them holding their leaders accountable and say, we know so money has been budgeted for some things, we are not seeing it. Why are the people from the Niger Delta not vocal at this point in time?
Sure, Mr. Emmanuel. I think it's one of the critical issues that happens to Nigerians, and it will only happen in Nigeria, because in other countries, it's not the way of normal behavior. I could remember during that saga, I saw a program in TVC, in Niger Delta Focus, where they were repeating all the issues, trying to track all the development project in Niger Delta. And I found that over 60% of contracts given since 2002, about 18 years ago, still over 60,000 contracts are incompleted in Niger Delta. And then at the same time, no any yearning. And then they will just document it. Even TBC tried, they document it and they show the world. But at the same time, when we talk, when there was a lot of issues between House Assembly and the Commission and the Minister of Niger Delta, I saw a kind of coalition of civil society group. A civil society group, for that matter, a young people in a round table, putting that, if anything, tried to use a kind of threatening word threatening what to the other part of the people or other part of the leadership in the country, that if anything happened to Apabio or Professor Bandop, if anything happened to them, there will be a kind of instability, which it means, when you look at the context, you can understand that even the people from that area, more importantly the elite and enlightened people there, and then even the civil society representation, who they were there to maintain and to protect the right of masses, but they are the same people trying to put it and politicize the process. And it's not something that is dealing with any politics. When you look at the issue, it's issued directly that somebody, a single person, mismanaged over 100 billion naira, and then somebody trying to put into perspective into the House Assembly, which they are the key representatives of all the Nigerian constituencies. But at the same time, other people, they are saying they are trying to manipulate, they are trying to show that, which at the end of the day, I realized that there has been a lot of a kind of cutting corners, putting head together, and then just divide the national cake at that level of elite level, and then the deepening crisis between the leadership of Niger Delta, and it is so unfortunate. As a civil society activist, what I wanted to see then, it's a kind of action that we represent the masses, we represent the people. At any point in time that somebody tried to stop this investigation, he will be dealt accordingly. Not supporting the criminals that embezzles the money, and then somebody from the civil society claim to be from the civil society group, because I started to have a kind of contention whether they are from civil society group. So on that note, in our side, we need to, as a civil society representation or people's representation, as a citizens, we need to put our head together and then to at least show our concern that those people, they are not our representatives, and at the same time to have a kind of a proaction strategy that will define what stages and what are we going to do. For instance, now after the investigation, so what? Will they just go in vain? Because we have seen a lot of judicial inquiry in Nigeria, and then a lot of things go unpunished. And then when you hear about the investigation, the processes, then the National Assembly, they will see a volume of books, a volume of reports that, if I may call it, a useless report, which will be just shelved into a shelf in the National Assembly without a single action, without anybody being punished, without any comprehensive report that somebody, that money that he took has been returned back into the National Treasury, and then that money will be returned back to the community, so that the community, most of the incomplete project to be completed. 100 billion for me is a kind of thing that somebody need to be forbidden from this country, and they need to be thrown into evil forest, so that we can never see kind of face of such kind of people in this country, because Nigeria came to end. It is our time now to wake up. It is our time to make a real change. It is our time to save the future of this country. But if we continue in the same process, I think the Niger Delta issue, the saga, will be separating across all the six geopolitical zones, and then it will cover the whole country, and then the dilemma will continue and continue, because any part of the country have one issue or the other. Banditry in the northwest, Boko Haram in the northeast. Look at what is going on, kidnapping and killing in the Middle East, in the Middle Belt. Look at what is going on within the issue of pandemic in Lagos and Oyo State. Look, we are all covered. All this country, we have one issue or the other, which we need to tackle it together, not in separation, not in terms of try even to bear criminals, and at the same time to show that we are going to protect them. So the youth have to wake up, and at the same time the civil society need to be much more strategic, and then we need to have a kind of much clear information, like the program I told you about in TVC, where I saw about 60% of the project remain incomplete. which we need to do a lot of work around that to put it much more, even in Shagalunku TV, to have a kind of one-day program that we can air all those programs, to even if we can put in to be in relationship with the TBC, to have all the program, to be putting it across the globe. And you rightly mentioned that these people are not even ashamed of themselves. You know, if you don't have shame, you wouldn't be ashamed. So they automatically define to us they don't have shame. If you don't have shame, you will never have shame. So on that note, Nigerians cannot just maintain to see people that doesn't have shame to be leading them. We need to also show them that we don't have shame. And we wake up and then we say no. And when we say no, we mean no. That no and capital no, ever and ever. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And while you were at it, another of our very strong commentator who's always been following the program just joined us. So I'll be putting Tochi shortly to also give his comments. While Tochi is here, I will just quickly read a few messages and then come back to Tochi to find his view. You've been listening to Mr. Abdul all the while. I'll need you to also make your comments. But quickly, let me take this so that when Tochi talks, Oga Abdul can respond. I got this message here from Olubimi Jagade Adeniba. It says, the country is trying strongly, the center is trying strongly to hold, but Nibo, the center cannot hold anymore. And then Peter David says, what we have now are politicians, not leaders. And I got one from a lady here, Tina Uwem. It says, our leaders don't have anything to offer the country. Watch and see all these dramas we are seeing will die down silently. They are distracting the citizens until the citizens are tired and everything will go under the carpet. The question now is that do we have leaders? We are just giants of Africa because it's just a slogan. Can what is happening here in Nigeria happen in Ghana? I beg, make I drink Gary peacefully. Tochi, welcome to the program. I know you've been listening to. I know you've been listening to my guest and all the things he's been saying. It's so sad. Like I told my guest when we started the program, that what worries me most is how our leaders just behave somehow on national TV. We get calls all the time from across the globe, and they'll be asking, "Are your leaders for real?" Because what we see on TV, it looks like maybe they are playing, and then later they will go on and solve the issues. Tochi, as a youth, are you worried about what's happening? And as someone who is also almost from the Niger Delta, don't you think the youth of Niger Delta are really not doing a lot? Because it's not just to carry placards and say, we no go agree, we no go agree. Are we not raising the kind of youth that are not also, because one thing is to be involved in what is happening. Some of the youths might not even know that XYZ money has been budgeted for them. Let me even let you talk extensively about this from the youth angle.
Oh, good afternoon, and thank you for having me again.
You're welcome. Yes, I am. Go on.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yeah, good afternoon, Tochi.
Yeah, so I've been listening to the conversation, and he has already addressed most of the issues. From when I saw the topic, it was more like, are we happy about the happening? And it's waiting for me. Why anybody would be happy about what's happening in the country, and any country for that matter? But it's actually exciting that we're beginning to get to know these things. I think before, a few people have access to this information, and you hear things like, if you know what is happening in the government, it was just as if it was an information exclusive for a few. If you know the corruption happening there, you wouldn't. Do you understand? But I think now it's all in our cities. We can see them happening. So like Mallam Abdulrahman was saying, I think it starts from not just sweeping them under the carpet. The case of Bike Dabiri, Pantami happened. So how far? What has happened to it? Do you understand? Oh, from there we talked about the case of Dr. Joy. From there we talked about the whole Niger Delta issue. So I think it's not just it happens today. We have basketballs on social media. We have the media report these things. We have the youth do skits on them, because I think that's where I have problem with. instead of engaging with the problem, we just do skits on them, we turn it into comedy, people try to get social media hype from it, and that's all. We're not really engaging with the issue. So I think it's something good that these days, these things happen, and it's in the face of everybody. We can see it. But what do we now do about it? I think that's where we should take the conversation from. And like I keep saying, corruption is not a thing of age. There is nothing proving that, oh, an older person is more corrupt than a younger person. It's an individual thing. The way a young person today, oh, can you help me do this? And they try to obtain, you will call it obtain, right? They try to swindle you and they say, oh, we're hustling, so obtain this person. It shows that when youth are given bigger responsibility, they can actually tour this path. So corruption is not a thing of age. It's not whether you're young, it's not whether you're... So the same way Mallam Abdulrahman is here as an older person trying to chant a good cause, oh, this is corrupt, this is what we should do, is the same way a younger person can do that. And the same way an older person is corrupt is the same way a younger person can be corrupt. So I think it goes down to the individual. Who are we putting in power? What is the personality of people we're voting? I think for Nigeria, most times it's the case of a few wealthy ones giving money to a few poor people, and then they get you into power, and then you come in to loot back this money you spent to get into those positions. So I think it goes back to how we elect our leaders. It goes back to who we're putting in power. It goes back to who we're putting in charge. So whether we're happy about this happening or we're not really the case, like I said, I am very excited because if I want to talk to the president now, because of information and social media, I can just tweet 10 times at M. Buhari. If I get blocked, I can mobilize people to keep tweeting this thing until they respond.
Well, that's true. Okay. I think Tochi's connection is
we're
gone.
Closer to talking to these people. So I think, yeah.
Go on, finish up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a wake-up call for every youth, for especially every concerned youth. And of course, when we say it's a wake-up call, as you begin to engage with these issues, because they are very strong issues, you should know that they come with a bit of challenge. I can remember an experience during the last election. I was trying to be very active. I'm not even doing much. I was just trying to, it's a vote not fight campaign. I was trying to support as much as I can. I was trying to mobilize my circle to make sure that you don't just talk about these things, you go out and vote. And I remember it got so deep. At 3 a.m., I started getting threat calls. At 3 a.m., I started getting calls like, oh, where do you get access to this kind of information? Why are you trying to be... Do you understand? So it's not actually easy. So when you really feel you're out to defend issues like this or engage and talk about issues like this, you should know it doesn't come easy. So you should be prepared for it. But most importantly, have your facts correctly. You don't trend fake news. You don't trend what is false. If you have information and you have facts to prove them, you can go ahead, use social media. If you have nothing to use, come on Twitter, tweet at people, and you see a lot of people engaging. But the truth is that Nigerian youth are actually not ready at all. We just do skits over issues instead of engaging with what was happening to the whole Professor Kemi Brandiko Pondai fainting. Of course, we were asking him questions and he failed the whole issue. I saw a lot of tweets in less than 1 hour. Instead of seeing real engagement, instead of asking real questions, do you understand? And demanding for answers, we turned it into a skit. Everybody was making skits about it. Everybody was just laughing over the issue. And I think that's the issue we'll continue to face. So for youth, I think it's a wake-up call. We should start asking the real questions and demanding real answers. And please, while we're doing that, we shouldn't just, at every slight, because they will always come, you will see threats, you will see attacks, but at every slight attack, you shouldn't just give up. As long as you're sure of the information you're standing for, as long as you're sure of what you're saying, I guarantee you speak forth, and then you have the other masses join you. Because a lot of people keep complaining about the problem, but they can't take initiative. So if you feel you have the courage to lead the change, please start up the conversation, and then we're here to support you and take the conversation further. But really, corruption is not a thing of age. It is not the younger. It's just a thing of personality. If you are corrupt, you are corrupt. Do you get? Yeah. And if you want to be a good person, be a good person. So it boils down to let's elect the right people, put a proper check, how we check these things, ask the right questions, demand the right answers, and fully get involved in the affairs of our country.
Okay, thank you very much, Tochi. I'll still come to you in a minute to also find out a few things from you. But let me get back to Oga Abdul for something very important. But first, let's read this message here. It's from a very consistent fan. His name is Karim Jackson. He says, "Greetings from the Asia. Black American media abroad in the Philippines Island are watching you." Thank you very much. He's always joining us on the program. Mr. Abdul, Tochi has said a whole lot concerning young people and all that. Because my worry now is when we see the elderly politicians or the older politicians who've been in this thing for long, who will feel will be like mentors for younger politicians or for younger people who will like, okay, I have the interest of going into politics. When they see some of these things happening from the older politicians, and I'm not talking about the age now, but I'm talking about politicians who have put in so many years in politics, and you feel that they should be refined by years of experience and they should know what to do at every point in time, setting examples and being mentors to younger folks who will one day want to be senators, maybe chairmen, councillors, and all that. And you see them do all this fight. What do you think of it? Let's even start, Mr. Abdul, with Ngige's time at the probing. I mean, he just used you know, like when you are doing a defense mechanism, you see your opponent and you want to raise the person down, just like in a boxing ring. You first of all use words and raise down your opponent, just like Muhammad Ali would do, so that at the end of the day, your opponent wouldn't even know how to attack you anymore. What do you say about that particular one? Was just, we were talking of the fainting acting MD, and Ngige came for 10 minutes, left the subject of discussion, and was talking about Mushin and Victoria Island, and talking about how he's 7 years older than Faleke's mentor. And I'm like, God, what has age got to do with it? Because we are in offices where a young boy of 35 will be the boss of a security man of 70 years. So age, like Tochi said, is really not about it when it comes to good governance. Anyone can be at the forefront of leadership. What do you have to say about this, Mr. Abdul?
Wow. You know, this is the level I'm talking about, a kind of level of unseriousness as much as how we are in the country. If elder people of that age can behave in front of parliament, a kind of national parliament, a parliament which one of the biggest, among the biggest parliament in the world, are reacted so personal, in fact, so biased, in fact, so embarrassing. Because I was so much embarrassed when I saw the video, and then I was totally not happy on that. That shows maybe the consequences and the kind of people that we are having. And to put on what Tochi said about the election processes, sometime when I saw all those things happening within the executive and then the representative of people, I was thinking that this is one of the results of our action of bad election, collecting money to elect, selling and buying of votes. On that note, you will do all that action in just 1 day or 2 days. But the actions, the result, the consequences will last for 4 years. See the kind of suffering people suffer in electing this government across the nation. On almost all the part of this country, people suffer much to elect this government, and when it comes into power, instead things to be taken much more serious, especially from the longer damaging that we suffer in the country. Then see, we are even going into the deeper, if not deepening, but the deeper crisis in terms of our economic, social, and as well, even the political system now is trying to be much more difficult engagement, especially within the young people context, because they are putting a lot of laws, putting that not too young to run, but all that things, when you compare the amount of money that people need to invest before they go into any office, it will be more difficult for young people like all of us to be part of leadership, because who have such kind of money? Do you think somebody can invest such kind of money free without any reward? It won't happen even across the globe. Even if it is in US, where they call the backbone of democracy of the world, no one will invest such kind of money that it will go in vain. On that note, I wish the minister could have reconsidered the processes of embarrassment that he did to a kind of senior citizen in the country, because the parliamentarians, they are the most senior citizens because they represent the voice of the people in the country. So it means when things continue in that way, when the elderly people continue in that way, it means the younger people are mentored in the same process, which the consequences, the longer term effect could be much more devastating, more than what we have now. So still trying to hammer on Tochi's comment, even the kind of young people that we still have in the country, that they are even following the suit. Like he mentioned, corruption doesn't have any age barrier, doesn't have any ethnic, no religion. They don't have even religion. When they go there, is our money, is their religion. To just snap our money and take it abroad is their religion. Don't think they have any religion. They are worshiping anything. They are worshiping our money for them to perpetuate their power into politics and to continue manipulating the Nigerian people. So on that note, the young people have to be much more clearer in terms of the action they need to be taken, because we have to begin, we have to start. Even if the most of the young people are not getting more serious, at least those of us that we assume ourselves trying to create more awareness, trying to advocate for good governance, trying to put things that will be followed internationally. Look at us now, trying to create more information and trying to advocate for good governance. A lot of people are watching across the. So let us intensify what we are doing. Let us be much more serious. Let us work with the serious hands so that we create a kind of sustainable network, which by Almighty God grace, things will substantiate. One day the story will change. But naturally, when we say the inevitability of change might not just happen easily. We cannot just push within 6, 7, 5 years to see changes directly, but we have to start doing something. We cannot hold our arms. We have to start doing something. I mean, the serious young people of this nation, so that at the end of the day, the improvement could be much more incremental. We might not see substantial changes, but at the same time, at my own level to see the changes, at your organization to see, Tochi to see at where he is working, things will gradually change, and one day the history might completely change, and the political atmosphere will completely also change.
Okay.
Thank you.
Tochi, let me ask you one final question as we wrap up. Mallam Abdullah said a whole lot when it comes to you, because the truth is, no matter how bad or terrible the older politicians or elderly ones spoil this country, if the youth don't also take their place, they will go down the drain as well. So yes, we could go all and on and on and on and blame the older ones or elderly ones. What are the young people even doing to right the wrong? Let me even ask you this, Tochi, before we wrap up now. What are young people doing? Oh, Tochi is gone off, but I hope he will join us. I really want to ask him what young people can do to also begin to put steps in place. Because the truth, Mallam, is that many young people are really not even interested in politics. How many of them even join political parties? They still see politics as a dirty game. So if you keep seeing politics as a dirty game, then you will leave it for the dirty people to play the game. You know, many young people still don't. Many young people. Okay, Tochi is back. Yeah. So Tochi, I was asking that what can young people begin to do to right the wrongs? It's not just enough to say yes, the older ones or elderly ones have spoiled the system. Where do you begin to take it up from now? It will shock you, many young people don't have their PVCs. They didn't go to register. It will shock you, many young people don't belong in any political parties. And we can't sit at home and be screaming good governance when you are not in this place where things are happening. Yes, I know money plays a whole lot, but be at that place. Pick a political party, anyone, be there and make your presence known. Someday, somehow, Things will change. But where there are elections and young people are playing football, young people are going to visit their friends, you are also leaving the situation back to the normal. So as we wrap up, what do you think young people should begin to do? They might think 2023 is very far away, but honestly, it's just around the corner. And the moment young people are not gathering themselves to say, hold the leaders accountable, you have to give us a written agreement that if you get there and you don't put young people into very sensitive positions, we will do your recall. When you come back for a re-election, we will not. Young people must begin to do all this. Tochi, what do you have to say as we wrap up?
All right, thank you so much. Like I said, it's just to genuinely get involved. I don't think there's anything extra that one can.
Hello? Hello, Tochi, are you there? Okay, Mallam Abdul, as we
do,
wait
especially
for
as young ones for now.
Okay.
We just have to be genuinely in.
Yeah, go on. Okay. Tochi's network is going off and on. Okay. I'm trying to wrap up. So, Mallam Abdul, what's also your wrapping words? I was trying to look at us saying our parting words with the young people, and then you made mention of something about civil society. They are also becoming a problem on its own, you know, when they see the truth, and sometimes some can't say the truth to the government in power, maybe because of a whole lot of things they. Tochi, you are back?
Sorry, my network is breaking.
Yeah, so quickly make your point now so that we wrap up.
So I was talking about genuinely getting involved. That is where it starts from. Like we keep advocating during the elections that no one votes on social media, because you have every youth talking on Facebook, talking on Twitter, talking on LinkedIn, and across all the social media platforms. And we keep telling them that no vote counts on social media. So it starts from getting your PVC. It starts from, like you said, joining a political party of choice. It starts from going to vote the right persons, and then of course getting actively involved in every step of the governance. If like these things happening, I expect to see real questions, young people asking real questions about these things. What are you asking? Who are you demanding answers from? Not doing skits and just making comedy out of the situation. So I just want us to genuinely get involved. And then I keep saying, I'm not an advocate for just having the young people there because it's a good thing to have young person in leadership. No, you can actually have anybody of good character in leadership. It doesn't matter the age. So I'm not particularly advocating for, let's just have young people hang. No. Have the right kind of persons. That's what I'm advocating. Let's have the right people govern us, whether young or old, and then we'll steer this ship forward. Of course, we can never take away having young people take leadership. Of course, we are the future of now, we're the future of tomorrow. So it's also time to get really, really involved and take it from there. But we're not saying everything should be young people. No, anybody that is right to lead should be there to lead. But let young people engage with these issues. Let us ask real questions. Let us get in the voting process. Let us join political parties. Most young people don't even know. They don't have detail. They don't have information. We just take headlines. Oh, somebody fainted. I'm telling you, ask a lot of young people, they don't even have details about the fainting. People just pick the line and run with them. So let's seek information. Let's have the right kind of information. Let's get involved from election. Let's get involved during the process of governance and into electing new leadership. And I tell you, like as Abdulrahman has said, gradually with little baby steps, we're going to get there someday. So for me, it's about getting genuinely involved. And as you get involved as well, do a personal check. If you are there, would you do better? That is the question. If you are Professor Ponder right now, would you have done better? If you're Fabio, would you have done better? And any other person, if you're Magu, would you have done better? So that's the question we should ask ourselves. We shouldn't just blame these people, and when given the opportunity, we even do worse than them. Like Mallam said, these people are just serving as mentors. Young people looking at it, I'm just waiting for my share of the national cake. Give me an opportunity to lead. I take my own money, take care of my own people, and Nigeria continues in shambles the way it's been. So I think it's generally asking ourselves questions. Are we really ready to build a country where our coming generation will enjoy? Do we still want to keep Nigeria the way it's going at the moment? So it's not just about getting involved, it's about coming with the right intention. Don't just get involved in politics because everybody is saying you should get involved. So get into politics because you really understand what you're fighting for, to build a future for your children and your children to come. Of course, most of this fight, we're not going to be the one to enjoy it at the moment because it will take a longer process to fix what is already damaged in the country. But if you really have the plan to have a sustainable and stable Nigeria for your generation and your generation to come, I think we'll get involved in all sincerity and build a nation that is worthy of living for our children as well. So that is what I have to get involved, do the right thing, do the right information.
Okay. So Mallam Abdullah, so wrap up now. What's your, on the final note, what will be your word of advice to everyone? I particularly need you to also address the CSOs because, like I was trying to also ask you before Tochi came back on air, CSOs are supposed to be like the watchdog. You know, they are supposed to also give advice to the government when issues happen. But we're beginning to see that some of them are really not doing all that, or sometimes they are also two-edged swords. You know, they come to the CSO forum and say something else, and we hail them, the government is wrong, blah, blah, blah. And then they go to the government and they hail them as well and say, don't mind those CSO people. They are just doing all those antagonism. You are doing so well. And we can't achieve development if we don't stand in the divide and say the truth as it is. For you that has been so long in the CSO work, in the development work, and also doing a whole lot in good governance, on a final note, what would you like to say, sir?
My final word here is what was doing is worth doing. We have to face the reality, look at our country, a place where we don't have any other place if not Nigeria. Then face it, take the mantle, and then work with the reality, like-minded people, and then build the capacity of our local group. Sometimes when you look at the bigger civil society group like Seraph has gone very far, and they have been doing a wonderful work across Nigeria, especially in the process of litigation of corruption in the country. The name of Seraph now is all over, and we bear witness. They are trying so much to see things change in this country. Unfortunately, you know, the forces have a lot of many ways of doing things. That's why we need to be strategic to also devise so many ways of doing things. We will be much for lightness in some extent if politeness is the answer. Sometimes we need to be much aggressive in our strategy if aggressiveness is the answer. And then stick to what we are doing so that to believe on ourselves. Like Tochi said, that it's not even for us now. It's not for us now. It will be for the future generation and generation and generation. Maybe between me and you, we are opportune to even go to school. But look at our schools now, they are shambles. Look at the graduates. You can find somebody graduate cannot make even 2 good sentences of English. And then he will tell you, do the best university in Nigeria. Some they even went to private university. So it's unfortunate. So we have to believe on what we are doing, continue doing what we are doing, to insist on what we are doing, to develop the capacity of locals. When I say locals, I mean local citizens, my close friend, my neighborhood, then another small civil society associations, CBOs, CSOs that are coming up with the zeal and generation so that we can support their cost and at the same time to move together. Gradually we'll reach there. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for finding time to join, and thanks to everyone who watched us and everyone who joined in the conversation and those who dropped their comments. The videos will be here for everyone to watch. You can also share with your friends and loved ones across the globe, and the response and the conversations will keep going. Finally, on a final note, I will give you all 30 seconds to greet anybody you want to, maybe organizations that you partner with, people you work with, anybody you are in synergy with that you want to also greet. Would like to give 30 seconds for everyone to do all that. So let's start with Tochi, while our guy at the top will wrap it up for us.
I'm not giving shout out to organizations today. I'm just urging youth. Wake up. So these things you see trending, they are not just for fun. They are not content for your social media skills. They are actually things you should be engaging with and asking questions. So please, it's a wake-up call. Get involved, get information. Why are these things happening? What is the cause of these things? Channel your questions to the right authority and demand answers. And from there, we're going to achieve what all of us are fighting for. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tochi. Mallam Abdul, your final words of greetings to anybody?
I think my greetings goes always to Shagalunku, because the way you are putting things together, I think you are taking us to the promised land if we insist to continue in this way. And as my colleague said, we ask, we demand for the information. In fact, the freedom of information law in Nigeria is a legal law. In fact, across many states. In fact, it's binded to all the states, even the state that doesn't pass it, because it's a national law that is applied to the area. Please, let's put hands together, require the information, acquire the information, share the information, work within the parameter of that information, then be more diligent so that at the end of the day we will succeed. And I hope I'm open up. My all contacts is there with the Emmanuel Gabari, and I'm ready to participate at any level, at the zonal level, state level, federal level. Ask me, call me. I will be part of any crusade that you want us to take this land to the promised land. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for finding time to join. Tochi, it's been wonderful having you, and Mallam Abdul, as always, he's always giving us insight. Mallam has been in this good governance state for over 17 years. So when people like this talk, you listen. I don't know why they have not given you a position, Oga Abdul. We want to see
they
you as a
can't give me any
position.
They know now. They know we will fight together with them, because they won't take the same way I will take. Tochino is.
What is it?
We are looking forward.
But yes, I will be full-time politician very soon.
Exactly.
Yeah, because we need people like that. You know, we can't always say the politics is bad. We need people like that to get in there. Even though we've seen comrades who, when they get there, they still behave somehow. But then everyone can't be that bad, and we will keep trying until we make it. So I really want to thank all of you, and I hope when we find time to call on you guys again, you'll be there for us. And to everyone who watched, thank you all for watching. We'll be doing an after watch party of this one. So for those who missed it, I know the time zone is always different, and some of our viewers from the US and other countries, they always watch later on. So we'll do an after watch party for them to also join and then drop their comments, and I'll be passing them on to Mallam Abdul and also to Tochi to respond to them. We can never have an ending conversation. It keeps going, because the truth is, life and Nigeria is our own. We can't just sit back and say, it no concern me. It concerns all of us. When we have peace, everyone will be at peace. Like I keep saying, when the superpowers were building weapons, instead of developing human capacity, you know, building peace and all that, they were feeling that with just one touch of a button, the world will go in extinct. COVID-19 just came to prove to everyone that the world needs to come together. Everyone now is in chaos and all that. So it's a really good one that you guys are doing so well, and I'm happy that Shagalinku is also using the space we've got to make sure that we lend our voice. We can never have enough of these conversations as we keep going on. I enjoy everyone watching to keep it going on. Well, thank you so much. This is the size of the program, and till I see you all on Tuesday for the Tuesday's edition. Thanks to everyone who's joined, and have a beautiful Saturday. My name is Ambassador Emmanuel Gabari, urging you all to stay blessed, stay safe, and let's keep pushing till we get a better Nigeria that all of us want. God bless you all, and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.